Brenda, this is such a treat. I can't tell you what an honor it is to meet you.
Thank you.
Loved your music forever, and just am excited you're here in Cookeville, Tennessee.
As I am. Thank you.
You're visiting Tennessee Tech University.
I am. I've had a wonderful time this morning for the last few hours, and I don't know, I've been a Tennessean for a long time, never been to Cookeville.
Oh, my
goodness.
goodness.
And it's precious.
Oh.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
What a
pretty
wonderful
town.
testament. It is a beautiful town.
Yes.
And you had a great chance to talk with some students today.
I did.
Right? Now tell me a little bit about that. Do you like that?
I do. Well, as I told the kids, I always like to espouse my views on singing and music because I'm so passionate about it. But they are so smart and so with it and so interested. So it was a lot of fun. And Miss Jennifer and Mr. Craig, and you can...
Jennifer Shank?
Yes.
Craig Zamer?
Right,
Yeah.
the head of the music and the singers and all were just precious, and boy, what talent they are.
It is a great university and,
Yes.
and has a wonderful music and art program.
I witnessed that today.
There you go. Well, all right, let's talk a little bit about you before we get too far into this interview. I know people know the name Brenda Lee, they know your music, but maybe some of the things they don't know about you is, of course, you are a Nashvilleian, you're an American performer, top charting female, you've had so many top chart hits. You're a Hall of Famer in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Rockabilly Hall of Fame, the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Georgia, I'm proud of that one.
Georgia.
Because that's my home state.
That's
the
right,
Georgia
your
Music
name.
Hall of Fame. Yeah. I'm proud of them all. But.
Sure. And then a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then here's something else I didn't know about you. You have sold over 100 million records. You've sold more records than any other woman in the history of recorded music. That's amazing. And it's all genres, right?
Yeah. It's pop and country and rock and I've been rockabilly. I've been really blessed to have been, started out rockabilly, then went full bang into rock and roll when it first started along with Elvis, and I was the first female rocker, and then went into pop, and then had a wonderful career in country. So I've been blessed to have 4 really distinct careers musically.
Well, and that's because you started so young.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still young, but you started as a child.
I started recording when I was 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell about that. Why did you get into music at such a young age? Other than you're a prodigy, but why?
Well, I don't know about a prodigy, but as I told the kids today, when I was old enough to realize what a dream was and that you could have a dream and realize it, singing was what I wanted to do. I didn't have an agenda. I was too young to think about gold records, selling records, making money, I just wanted to sing somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then as I got a little older, I realized with my circumstances and my siblings and my mother, my father had passed away when I was 7. So I realized that was a way that we could remove ourselves from the situation, kind of the dire situation that we were in. So that's pretty much how it started.
Now you were raised in an humble environment, but your family, your parents were talented and hardworking people. What did you learn from them that you carried on in your own career?
I learned to be me. I learned to like me. I learned to be proud of me. My mother taught me those things. As I said, I lost my father very early. Whatever morals, fortitude, perseverance, my mom instilled those things in me. And she also taught me to have the intelligence to choose priorities and roads to go down. And Hopefully I've chosen the right ones. I think I have. And of course, a lot of that comes from my spiritual belief and hers as well. So I feel like, you know, if I owe anything to anyone, the first kudos go to my mom.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I know how proud she must have been of you your whole life. You're a small person.
Yes,
You're
she was
tiny.
too.
And she was too?
Well, not like me. She was 5'2", but that's little. But I'm 4'9", so I don't know what happened.
But people would talk about, you know, your small stature, but then you got the nickname of Little Miss Dynamite because you could belt a song, right?
Yeah, and for a female, I kind of moved not the orthodox way on stage. I was all over the place, jumping around, sweating, you know, slinging my body and really getting into the music. And so I was named Little Miss Dynamite after a song that I had out called Dynamite.
Now, in the 60s, I read that you had 47 U.S. chart hits, and you were ranked 4th in the decade, surpassed only by Elvis, the Beatles, and Ray Charles. Now, that was an era.
That's pretty good
music.
company.
Isn't that pretty good company?
That's pretty good. I'll take it.
Yeah. So what was that like, being in that era of music?
You know, I wouldn't take anything for that because we had a camaraderie that, and I should not say because I'm just speaking on my behalf. It's not written in stone anywhere. That doesn't exist hardly anymore in any industry, much less the one I'm in. But we really loved what we were doing. We had each other's backs. It was not all about the bottom line. And that started from the top, from the record executives down. It just wasn't all about the bottom line. Careers were built then by companies. They didn't just throw a record against the wall, and if it stuck, oh, okay, we'll push it. Well, I'm sorry, we can't do another one. They built careers. They taught you things. They believed in you, and that's the difference I find today. And the friendships I made back then, those 3 names that you named before me were my dear, dear friends. Knew them all personally, loved them, loved all 3 of those men.
Didn't the Beatles open for you?
Absolutely. When I started touring England, I was popular before I ever was here. I had to go overseas to make it. And there was this group that opened the show for me known as the Silver Beatles, who became the Beatles once they got to America when they came across the pond.
Wow.
Yeah.
So John Lennon, he said that you had the best rock and roll voice of anybody. How does that make you feel?
Pretty special, because John was my favorite Beatle. I loved them all, but John was, to say the least, irreverent, had a great sense of humor, unbelievably and undeniably talented, and really very down to earth, really quite normal. To be that great.
Incredible songwriter.
Incredible. He and Paul McCartney. And of course George too, but not on the level that Paul and John did.
What do you admire in a song?
I'm a lyric singer, so I first go for the lyrics. And if I can believe them, then my audience will. Because I think if me as a fan, if I hear something and it touches my heart, then that means it's believable, and I believe the singer that's doing it.
Right, yeah.
And I'll go out and buy it.
Yeah.
And I'll become a fan.
So how did you get your start? You were very young when you got your start.
And I started out on various TV shows. I did one in Atlanta, Georgia called John Farmer and the TV Ranch Boys. And it was on WAGA, which is still there. And my pay was, it was sponsored by an ice cream company. And I got all the ice cream I could eat on Saturdays. So that was my pay, and that was great. And I traveled around with them, and then I traveled with a gospel group called the Master Workers Quartet, because I was raised in the Southern Baptist Church. A lot of my heritage and my roots in singing, I think, came from the field of gospel. And then I was discovered by the late, great Red Foley. Went on to do his network television show called the Ozark Jubilee, which originated from Springfield, Missouri. And from that show, was seen by the people of the Perry Como Show and the Steve Allen Show and the Ed Sullivan Show, went on to do those shows, which, without a record, really without a face in the industry, catapulted me into the homes of America, who enveloped me in their arms and made me who I am.
But you were like 10, right?
Yeah, 10, 11, 12.
Were you traveling all over the country?
Yeah, everywhere.
Wow. So you really had to grow up pretty quickly, right? You had to be
Yeah.
a pretty smart businesswoman at a very young age.
Yeah, and like I said, my mother looked over me so well, and she had good people around me, and they were people that loved me as a person and not as a product. So
Boy,
that
that's-
made all the difference.
Yeah, that says a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think that's really different today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And it has to be, I guess. It's so fast and it's so furious, you don't have time to make relationships.
Because it's just constantly changing.
Well, it's constant. And sometimes if somebody is not producing and performing for you, they're out the door. That did not used to be the case.
They would work with you?
They would work with you or you would work with them.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you test the waters. You'd at least see before you pushed them under for the last breath.
Right.
You know, you'd at least see if it was going to work.
I love that. You know, you worked almost exclusively for a long period of time with producer Owen Bradley.
Absolutely.
What was it about him and about his work that made you dedicate your work with him?
He was magical. He was a genie in a bottle. And he let me have the cork.
Wow.
And he was just so knowledgeable about music. And even though he had Kitty Wells, Loretta Lynn, Patsy Cline, and me, he had the uncanny knack of choosing great songs for each one of us without slighting either one of us.
Wow.
Never once did I say, why didn't you give me Crazy? Why didn't you give me I Fall to Pieces? Neither did Kitty, neither did Loretta.
Were you all friends?
Yes, very close.
Wow. Did you remain close?
Absolutely. Loretta and I are still the dearest of friends. Patsy and I were. Kitty and I were. Our families were and are.
Tell about your family. Now, you met your husband through music, right?
Well, I did. I met him at the old Fairgrounds Coliseum in Nashville at a Jackie Wilson concert. Love Jackie Wilson.
I love Jackie Wilson.
And very seldom at that time in my life did I have any time off to go see another artist. And so when Jackie came to town, I thought, I am going. I'm home and I'm going. And I get there and I'm with a group of my girlfriends. I'm 17. My mom, I still had not single dated. My mom didn't allow it.
Okay.
And so I had not dated much at all. And never in a car. It was always with the parents or, you know, that
Right.
kind of thing. And he apparently was with a group of his friends. And I looked over, and much like all of us girls do, we like a pretty face.
Right.
And I like those tall guys.
Right.
And he was about 6'3".
Oh, my goodness.
And I was down here.
Right.
And he was just drop dead gorgeous. In fact, I told him after we married, I said, honey, if I look like you, I'd strap a mirror around my neck and look at myself every chance I got. But he didn't know it. He's, you know,
So
just a great,
good.
great guy. Not in show business, didn't know who I was. Now, his
Wow.
daddy did.
Oh, okay.
But Ronnie was a football player. He was into everything else but music. So that was good. And I was looking for roots, because that's what I grew up with.
Right.
So I wanted stability in my wonderful, unstable life. Because I don't call it chaotic or bad, it was wonderful.
Right.
But I wanted a husband, I wanted the picket fence, I wanted children, and I wanted somebody to take care of me. And he's done a great job.
Was he from this area?
He was from Nashville.
Oh, wow.
Born and bred.
Went to high school there?
Yes. Went to MTSU.
Really?
Yeah.
My goodness.
On a football scholarship.
And so you two, you married?
We married. I was 18. We married in April. He was 19 that May. I was 19 in December. A year later, we had our first baby, a little girl, who is now 50.
Wow.
My husband said she's by my first marriage. He's not old enough to have a child that age. And then our youngest girl is 45.
Now that really says a lot, Brenda,
Yeah.
for someone who has had a lifetime in the entertainment business and has a wonderful, stable family life.
Yeah.
What's the secret of that?
I don't know that I know. I only know about us. And I married somebody out of the business because I had seen that and it had never worked with both being in the industry. Mm-hmm. So I thought, well, I'm not going to do that. And so we married, and he had his own career. I had mine. He respected my space. I respected him and what he did. And he helped me, and I helped him. And we will celebrate 52 years in April.
Well, congratulations
Thank
to
you.
that.
Thank
That
you.
is awesome.
Yes.
Now, your granddaughters, I think, are probably a similar age or the same age as these young people you were talking to today.
Absolutely. My oldest granddaughter, Taylor's 25. She's getting her MBA at Johns Hopkins in global medicine.
Wow.
My youngest granddaughter, Jordan, will be 18 in November. She's a senior at St. Cecilia. She's an artist. And then my boy, finally got a boy. He's 12, Charlie,
Okay.
and he is a 7th grader at Curry Ingram.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they're all right near you, at least most of them are near
yes,
you, right?
Yes.
So how do you think young people are today as far as embracing music, embracing even classic music? Like
Well, you can't lead them astray. I will say that. They're smart.
Okay.
They're very intelligent. They know what they like, and you're pretty not going to change that unless you can prove them wrong. It's not like it sort of used to be like, oh, I like that record. Okay, I like it too. Let's listen to that one. You know, when we were kids,
Yes,
you know
right.
how it was.
You're right.
That doesn't happen anymore. They're very choosy in what they like.
Now, some of your songs like Break It To Me Gently, I'm Sorry, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, those are all big hits.
Yeah.
Well, you had many, many big hits. Do you have a favorite genre? Is there a genre that's just, you said that's what I want to sing when I sing?
I love to sing everything, and that's why I'm so proud that I'm able to, that I had those 4 distinct careers, because I never like to be pigeonholed. I know you kind of have to for a record company because they need to market you and they need to brand you. Mm-hmm. And that's what it's all about. Thank God it wasn't in my day. You could do it all.
Right.
And I've been allowed to do that. But people say, well, what's your favorite song that you've ever done? Well, they're kind of all like my children. I can't pick a favorite. You know, they're just, I love them all.
Sure.
Because I'm one of those artists, I can't sing it if I don't like it. I don't care if it's the most commercial thing that ever hit the planet. I can't do it and make it believable.
Have you had people try to get you to do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you just
I've
say no?
turned down songs that went on to be humongous hits. I Never Promised You a Rose Garden, one. Always On, well, no, I had the first hit on Always on My Mind. Who's Sorry Now? Connie Francis, another one. I mean, we've all done that.
Sure.
We've all turned down stuff like that. And then you say, oh my Lord, what was I doing that day? You know?
Now, you've lived in Nashville all this time. It's like boomtown.
Yeah, oh Lord, it is.
What do you think about that?
I'm proud in a lot of ways, and the thing that I'm most proud of is that even with our growth and all that's happened, we still have somehow kept that small town feel, and I love that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. People are friendly.
Absolutely.
They seem to genuinely care about you.
They do. They're nice, they're friendly, they care. It's not a dog-eat-dog thing. Even in the music industry, it's really good, and I love that about it because we're booming.
Oh, yeah.
But so is a lot of places in Tennessee.
Yes.
So are a lot of places, excuse me. My daughter's an English major. She'll have my behind if I said so is a lot of places.
Oh, we knew what you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, Lordy.
So, who inspires you? Who now, and maybe even in the past, what music or what?
All music inspires me because I can learn from, I told the kids today, don't mark out anything or anybody. Look, learn, and steal. Now that sounds like a bad word.
No.
It could be a hand movement. It could be a breathing technique. I don't mean steal the style.
Right.
You got to have your own style. It could be a pronunciation. It could be anything. But look and learn, because you can from everybody. I learned how to breathe from the great Frank Sinatra.
Oh.
And he circular breathes. And that's a whole nother subject. We'd be here all day
Wow.
trying to explain that. But the kids can Google it, and they can, and it's hard. But
Is it?
Yeah, but you can learn it. I did.
Makes a huge difference?
Makes a huge difference. Sounds like you never take a breath on stage,
Wow.
but you are. Because it's coming right out here, going right into here.
Oh, that's
Instead of going, I love you, a bushel and a peck, it's, you don't have to breathe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I've learned something today,
Yeah.
too. So, we've got a little bit of time left. You know, I struggle with my vocal cords.
I bet
on
you do,
occasion.
talking all the time. Yeah.
So, with decades of performance, have you found that as a challenge, or do you have secrets as to how you avoid that?
Singing-wise, when I'm on the road, and I can only speak singing-wise because I talk all the time,
Right.
I get 8 hours of sleep a night. I do not smoke, and I do not drink. Now, when I'm home, I'll have a glass of wine at dinner sometimes, but I don't do any of that on the road. And I make sure I get my night sleep because my cords do not perform with day sleep. Now, I guess it all depends on what you get used to, but I have to have night sleep. And I have to be able, and the technology, that's one thing about the great technology is we have ears now to where we can hear instead of the monitors.
Okay.
To where you were lucky if you could hear, and you were screaming trying to hear yourself over the rock and roll band, which we were having so much fun with. But you've got the ears today, so you can hear and you don't blow your cords.
And are you performing a lot?
Not like I used to. I used to do 150, 200 shows a year.
Wow.
I'm down to 12
12.
by choice.
Sure.
But
sure.
I have my little boy.
Yes,
So,
that's right.
yeah,
that grandson.
we're busy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
man.
he's a singer and a bass player.
Really?
He got the gene.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah.
Is he performing already?
On stage with me
That is awesome.
when I can get him out of school.
Do you love that?
I really do. I have to pay him. He made a deal with me. Have to pay him $44.98. Now, where that came up from, I don't know, but that's what he said.
Oh, that is awesome. That's not bad then,
That's
right?
not bad, no.
Probably not industry standard. Is
No,
it?
it's not even scale.
Well, let me ask you in the moments we have left, what do you want people to know? When the folks here in Tennessee see this interview and they say, oh my gosh, it's Brenda Lee, what do you want them to know that maybe they don't?
Well, I won't ever get to meet all of them personally or ever say hello, but I want them to know I am so appreciative because I'm here because of you. And that's the truth.
That's it.
I could do what I do, but I wouldn't be Brenda Lee without them.
That says everything. It says everything about you.
And they're
too.
my buds. I won't get to meet them, but they're my buds.
You feel that?
I feel that. They're a part of me.
And these young people you talk to, do you like doing that?
I love it. I love it. I love to see that hope and that fire and that passion and that want to, because that's what it takes in life. And I'm glad America still has that.
Well, this is, we could talk for hours, and I love the time I've had with you. Thank you so much.
Me as well.
And thank you for coming to Cookeville.
Love it.
All right, you come back?
I will.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.